In the jungles of Vietnam, one of the most powerful nations in the world faced a shocking defeat. The United States, with its unmatched military power, technology, and resources, couldn't win a war against a much smaller nation. But why? What went so wrong that America, the symbol of global strength, lost the Vietnam War? Today, we'll uncover the real reason behind one of the most painful chapters in U.S. history. After World War II, the world was divided between two ideologies, capitalism and communism. Vietnam became one of the front lines of that ideological battle. In 1954, after the French were defeated at Dien Bien Phu, Vietnam was divided into two: North Vietnam, supported by the Soviet Union and China, and South Vietnam, backed by the United States. For America, this wasn't just another war. It was about stopping the spread of communism in Asia. The U.S. believed in the Domino Theory. If one country fell to communism, others would follow. To prevent that, America decided to step in. By the early 1960s, American involvement grew rapidly. The U.S. sent advisors, troops, helicopters, and massive air support to help South Vietnam. They believed their advanced weapons and superior training would guarantee victory. But the Vietnam War wasn't like any war America had fought before. The enemy didn't fight in open fields. They fought in jungles, tunnels, and villages. The Viet Cong used guerrilla warfare, small, unpredictable attacks that made the U.S. military feel helpless. Despite heavy bombing campaigns like Operation Rolling Thunder, the enemy kept coming back stronger. America had entered a war it didn't fully understand. The American soldiers were young, many drafted straight from college or high school. They were sent thousands of miles away to a foreign land where they couldn't tell who was friend and who was enemy. Every village could hide danger. Every shadow could hide an ambush. The physical exhaustion, fear, and uncertainty broke their morale. Back home, people started asking, why are we even fighting this war? The anti-war movement grew stronger as television brought graphic images of combat and civilian suffering into American homes. It was the first war people watched from their living rooms, and they didn't like what they saw. As the years went by, trust in the U.S. government began to fade. Officials kept saying America was winning, but the body count told a different story. The 1968 Tet Offensive was a turning point. North Vietnamese forces attacked more than 100 cities at once, shocking the U.S. public. Even though the U.S. won militarily, psychologically, it was a huge loss. The American people realized this war couldn't be won easily, and maybe not at all. Protests erupted across universities and streets. The nation became divided between those who supported the war and those who wanted peace. America wasn't just losing in Vietnam, it was losing at home. By the early 1970s, political pressure forced the U.S. to start withdrawing troops. The Nixon administration introduced Vietnamization, hoping South Vietnam could fight on its own, but without American air support and funding, South Vietnam couldn't survive. In 1975, Saigon fell. The images of helicopters evacuating people from the U.S. Embassy became symbols of a failed war. For America, it wasn't just a military defeat. It was a blow to its confidence, politics, and moral authority. So, why did America lose the Vietnam War? Because it fought a war it didn't understand, a political, cultural, and psychological battle. Not just a military one. America tried to defeat an idea with bombs. But the Vietnamese were fighting for something stronger, their identity and independence. In the end, technology lost to determination, and the world learned that even a superpower can lose when it underestimates the human spirit. The Vietnam War left deep scars on Vietnam and on America itself. It changed how the world viewed war, power, and politics. And decades later, it still reminds us, no war is ever truly won when humanity is lost.